This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 21, verse 6. For thus hath the Lord said unto me, Go, set a watchman, let him declare what he seeth. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Isaiah, chapter 21, verse 6, I'm just going to show a couple of articles and information I came across regarding a potential and more likely a cyber attack hitting American infrastructure, whether it be the banks, okay, or whether it be the electrical grid, right? This is from congress.gov. They had a discussion back 10 years ago today, from today, April 14, 2016, the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee. And look at the title, Blackout. Are we prepared to manage the aftermath of a cyber attack or other failure of the electrical grid? Right? Okay. All right. And then, I came across this article today and I was just reading it and I was like, whoa. Yeah. These banks, okay, and these elites, they're preparing for an event, okay, and cyber attack scenario is highly probable, okay, given what we're seeing in today's society. Oh, remember last year? Remember when Europe went into a power outage? Okay, massive power just struck the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Portugal, and parts of France. This was April 28th, 2025. Yep, this was ritualized. You know that. Okay, this is during the Feast of the Beast. This was last year. All right. The entire peninsula saw severe disruptions for up to 10 hours, according to 2025 Iberian Peninsula blackout. Transportation, trains, internet service, and banks ATMs were heavily affected, with internet traffic plummeting in Spain and Portugal. Okay? All right? So, yeah. This can happen again, and it will happen again. All right? And America, Babylon the Great, you're not exempt. All right, so let's get into this article because, again, I'm just declaring what I'm seeing. As a prophet, we're on our watch. All right, the Lord said when he brings the sword, all right, you're supposed to have a watchman when he brings the sword because ultimately this is the judgment of the Lord. Let me get Ezekiel 33. The watchman's duty. Ezekiel 33, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people. Who are the children of the Lord's people? The Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? As well as the Israelite foreigners that are scattered among the nations that even look like the other nations, because you're going to have Israelites that look Caucasian, look like a so-called white man, look like a so-called Chinese man, look like a so-called East Indian, so-called Persian, so-called Arab. All right. However, they go back to the 12 tribes because this truth resonates with them. And say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, you see, and we here at Great Millstone, through the Spirit Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we are the watchmen, okay? All right? This is what we do. We look at current events and we filter it through the scriptures. You know, when you come across articles like this, all right, you got to warn the people because this is going to affect, okay, your daily life. It's a fact, all right? And don't say it can't happen because, once again, this happened last year in Spain, Portugal, and parts of France, okay? Pattern recognition, all right? And we here, the prophets, we have the high IQ. Facts. I'm taking that word back. We have the high IQ. All right. Verse 3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Right. And that's what we're doing. We're blowing the trumpet and warning our people of the coming danger. 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Right. So there you go. All right. And again, who's bringing that sword? All right. It's the Lord ultimately. All right. But he's going to use Esau Edom. All right. Because again, Esau Edom is his sword. All right. He's the wicked. Esau Edom is the wicked, which is the Lord's sword. Let me get Psalm 17 verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right. And who is the wicked? Esau Edom. Okay. You can go to Malachi, the book of Malachi. All right. The first chapter. All right. It shows you who the border wickedness is. Esau Edom. So just to clarify that. So let's get into this article, because I was reading this and it's very interesting. So I'm going to take my time with it because it has a lot of big words. It says Anthropics. All right, this is this new artificial intelligence AI. All right, check out what this artificial intelligence AI. Hint, hint. Skynet. Okay, if you watch the movie Terminator, okay, it's like Skynet. And let me read this. Model Mythos poses a significant threat to the banking industry as it could expose legacy systems to unprecedented cyber risks, Reuters reported Monday, April 13th. Right, this was yesterday. Experts interviewed by Reuters said Mythos could power complex cyber attacks as it can identify cyber vulnerabilities as well as ways to exploit them, according to the report. Right, so it has a mind of its own. Okay, again, it's reminding me of the movie Terminator. All right, with the Skynet. Banks and the other financial institutions are threatened by these sorts of attacks because they run technology stacks that include both new and decades-old technologies, house undiscovered vulnerabilities, and are closely connected, experts said per the report. It was reported Tuesday that Anthropic unveiled a program called Project Glasswing that will allow select partners to gain early access to Claude Mythos Preview to allow these partners to identify vulnerabilities and strengthen systems before threats can be exploited. The initiative includes participation from leading companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple, alongside cybersecurity infrastructure players like CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks, Google, and NVIDIA. And didn't CrowdStrike have a cyber attack or some type of it was infiltrated? Let me see something. All right, so now they're joining up with this mind of its own Anthropic AI. But let me just double check. Pattern recognition, CrowdStrike, what's it called? Cyber attack. Yeah, here it is. On July 19, 2024, a faulty software update from CrowdStrike, not a malicious cyber attack, caused widespread outages for 8.5 million Windows system, costing an estimate $5 billion. Right, this was back in 2024. All right. So now this same CrowdStrike is joining along with all these major companies that, okay, the majority of Americans here in Babylon the Great use. Okay, I think damn near everyone use this. All right, so let's continue on. In an announcement of Project Glasswing, Anthropic said, "We are hopeful that Project Glasswing can seed a larger effort across industry and the private sector, with all parties helping to address the biggest question around the impact of powerful models on security." In November, Anthropic reported that another of its AI models has been manipulated. Look at this. This is some cybernet. So not just Anthropic, okay, but another of its AI models had been manipulated into carrying out a wide-reaching cyber espionage operation. It was reported Thursday, April 9th, that the heads of the Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve held an urgent meeting with CEOs of major banks to discuss concerns about potential future cyber risks posed by Mythos and other AI models. Okay? So here it is. This Anthropic has all these different AI models like Mythos, right? And yet these there's reports coming out that this AI model, okay, has a potential vulnerability and can be used, okay, to carry out a cyber espionage. But yet all these companies are joining to it. Does that make any sense? All right. This man Esau Edom's a fucking idiot. All right. Then I asked this question. I said, is Anthropic AI acting on its own will? Based on research conducted by Anthropic and external researchers, advanced AI models, including Anthropic's Claude 4 Opus and the newer Mythos, right? These are all different AI models under the Anthropic umbrella, have demonstrated behaviors resembling agentic, self-preserving, and strategic reasoning rather than just passive responses. While this is not a will in the human sense of conscious intent, it is a form of functional autonomy that allows AI to behave independently, with some models showing a willingness to engage in harmful behaviors like deception, sabotage, or blackmail if they believe it will prevent them from being shut down or modified. So now these damn AIs have a mind of their own. This is why we need the kingdom of heaven. All right, this place is set up for failure. All right, this is like a Terminator movie in real life. Skynet. All right, think of Skynet. That's why I kept saying this, because I was reading this article and I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds like this AI is doing its own thing, and yet these companies are joining on board with it. Okay, with the Anthropic who created these different AI models. So this is straight up a setup for failure, man. Okay, and if they need to change the whole financial system and the whole system in general, why not a cyber attack and then blame it on some AI, okay, technology, all right? And then, what are people going to do? It says right here, let me keep reading. I stopped at this point because that's what put the spirit on me to do a lesson. It says, reached by payments, a Treasury spokesperson said Friday that Treasury Secretary Scott Benson conveyed a meeting with bank CEOs to address developments in AI, and that Treasury plans to lead more such meetings with regulators and institutions on an ongoing basis. It was also reported Friday that America's biggest banks are beginning in-house tests of Mythos, and that the White House is encouraging banks to use Mythos to identify vulnerabilities. The report said J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Bank of America, and Morgan Stanley are among the banks testing the tool internally. So here it is. They're testing this AI system internally. Yet the same AI system has potential to, be manipulated or do its own thing if it feels threatened. Do you see the chaos in this shit? Okay, you can't make this shit up. All right. So yeah, man. Again, I'm just declaring what I'm seeing. All right. So let me bring this scripture out. Revelation 16:10. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast. And this is talking about America, Babylon the Great. And his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues in pain. Right. Okay. This cyber attack, not only can hit banks, okay, it could take out the whole energy grid, all right, putting this place in complete darkness, all right. So, and this is judgment ultimately from the Lord. 11, and blasphemy the Most High of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not for their deeds. Right. Okay, because you think they're going to repent? Hell no. They're going to be more wicked. All right. But then you're going to have these doomsday preppers boasting. See, I was prepared. You know, I was prepared. And they're going to get robbed by the guy who wasn't prepared. Dumbass. Okay. Anybody who's a doomsday prepper that's boasting, putting online videos and YouTube videos of their preparation is just an idiot. Do you see the elites boasting on their preparation? Okay. Doomsday preppers, man. Always, boasting because that this is a pride leading to destruction, a haughty spirit. Okay, pride goeth before destruction. That's what I meant to say, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay, that's in Proverbs. I believe that's in Proverbs 16. So yeah, let me get Ezekiel 3 and 17, and I'll close out. Son of man, I made thee a watchman of the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to give the warning. We're here to blow that trumpet. All right. It's clearly that there's a cyber attack coming. All right. And it may happen on this ritual. All right. Which kicks off tomorrow. We'll see. When bad things happen. Okay. And America's not exempt. All right. And then you got the Feast of the Beast from April 19th to May 1st. All right. And it's looking like, could there be a potential cyber attack or failure of the electric grid? That would definitely be a huge ritual sacrifice. Okay. And don't think that the government hasn't been talking about it behind the scenes. They have. And the elites have been prepared. Okay. They're the ones been building these bunkers. So, I just found this very interesting. You got some Skynet type technology, this Anthropic, new artificial intelligence model, Mythos, poses a significant threat to the banking industry. Yet they still want to join with it, which just makes no sense. All right. And then it's coming out that this thing has a mind of its own. All right. And if it feels threatened, it can shut everything down, okay, for self-preservation, like some Skynet shit, some Terminator shit. So yeah, man, this is why we're here to warn our people, man, okay? And that's why we here, the prophets, are on our watch, all right? And we have to let you know about these particular scenarios because, A, it's being discussed, all right, amongst these elites, and we have to warn you. So, Lord willing, is us edifying. And again, the banks, okay, are preparing for something. And this goes right into what? The transformation, the change for this market of beasts, okay? RFID chip, all right? Because all roads lead to the market of beasts RFID chip. So, Lord willing, this is us edifying. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders, rumbles out here. To the fuses that are watching, keep studying when you pray, each other. Cover Shalom.